this is Kevin Davidson, your host for Kevin's Corner, Real Estate from a Marketing Perspective. This is episode number 11, so I'm really excited. Going on almost 3 full months of doing this. So if you're interested in seeing the podcast and everything, check it out on YouTube. I always like to mention that I couldn't do this without my support staff, which is Jennifer Smitis, and Caitlin Kornick, Devon, Rosalie Dean, and Wendy Santana. I can't forget Wendy. And the assistants and processors that we have here at the offices. So if you're looking for title, we'd love to help you out. At the same time, if you are a real estate agent and you are in the Fort Bend County area, or you're a vendor that we might want to work with in the Fort Bend County area, and you see this and you want to be on the podcast, send me an email, give me a call. I'll be happy to put you on the calendar. With that said, episode 11, I got 2 great, exciting guests today. The first one, a lot of you might recognize. He is not the myth, but he is the man, Larry Warren from Stewart Title. Say hi, Larry.
Hi, Larry.
Thanks,
Kevin.
Larry's not the only one that's going to be watching this. So I wanted to have, this is Larry Warren. He is the, what's your title?
Senior Division President.
Senior Division President for Texas.
A big part of Texas.
Big part of Texas. So Larry is my boss's boss's boss. So
Wrong.
If you start wrong. Correct me on my own podcast?
I'm sorry. I work for Kevin.
But Larry's a great guy. I love him a lot. I've been here for about 1.5 years, and you've really kind of made me feel comfortable in my job. Most bosses don't do that. Jennifer Smitis is another one that makes me feel real comfortable, but upper management, you're solid. You really are.
Appreciate that.
So why don't you tell everybody what you do for Stewart Title? You've been around for a while, right?
Yeah, I started with Stewart in 1982. I'm like the last standing dinosaur. Still get to have periodic lunches with Stewart Morris Sr. He's 103. They're not involved with the company any longer, but I start on the east side of Texas, go all the way across to El Paso and everything south. So all the greater Houston area. We call it the Southwest Texas Division. Mm-hmm. So within that, I've got it's over 50-something branches. I've got 7 different AFBAs, and we've got 7 different divisions, which a division is like Houston is a division, and then I've got 6 other city divisions.
What's an AFBA?
AFBA is what we call an affiliated business arrangement. So we have some affiliated business arrangements that we own part of the company and the customer owns part of the company, and all of the ones that we're currently in right now are with other builders, volume builders, especially in the Houston area. Most of them are national builders that we have a relationship with. Mm-hmm. We have a couple of them in some of the smaller cities, which are the regional builders that are very, very strong in El Paso and Victoria.
So are those the same entities that if an agent that works with me and says, by the way, I've got a property in El Campo or some city that I don't have a Stewart Title office in, but you could go to our website and see affiliates that are in that area that work with us. Is that the same type of thing?
Not really. The affiliated business, so if you buy, let's say you buy a home that we're in business with, and let's just pick Weekly. We have a company.
You mean a builder? Okay,
correct, a builder. Now, if you have agents that have properties throughout Texas and they happen to be involved with that, absolutely we can help them. You're the great point of contact. You find out where that's at. More than likely we have a direct operation that I work for. Mm-hmm. If not, if it's a smaller town, which we kind of own South and West Texas, Stewart does, we have agents. An agent is a privately owned company that has a relationship with an underwriter, and of course Stewart being one of the big 4 directs.
Are those the entities that you see on the website when you go and look up for a?
You can, yes.
That's what
you'll see. Okay. Direct and agents, exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
Because I'll see Stewart Title, and then there'll be 8 other title companies. I'm like, I didn't know that was us. And
exactly.
It's not really us, but we have a relationship with them.
Correct.
Okay.
We do their underwriting.
Awesome. So what are some of the really cool things that is going on with Stewart Title right now from your vantage point?
From my vantage point, over the last 3 years since Fred Eppinger, our CEO, came on board, we had issues with hostile takeovers and everything, and the Morses not being involved. Fred Eppinger came in, said he's going to assess the company in 100 days and put us on this path. And everything that he has said has come true, and he's on this path. We have fantastic leadership now. The guy that runs direct operations, his name is Ryan Swed. I'm glad that he is now running all of direct operations. He's an incredible guy, great knowledge. My direct report that I report to is a guy named Rob Sherman. Rob Sherman is over Texas, New Mexico, and Colorado.
Was he in this office with you?
Yes,
make the rounds about?
just not long ago.
Yeah,
correct. Okay. Fantastic guy, an absolutely fantastic guy. So what I like now is the leadership that we have, and we're behind a little bit with some of the other big underwriters, but we are gaining ground quickly. As Fred says, we're a 130-year-old startup.
Right.
You know.
Well, yeah, and by the way, we're 130 years old this year.
Correct.
October.
Yes.
And am I correct in saying the first Stewart Title office that opened up in Galveston is still there in the same building?
I was in it last week.
Yes. So I guess yes.
Yes.
Nice.
222 Kempner. It's a red brick building. If you're ever there, if we're open, and it's not the end of the month, I highly urge you to go in and ask to see if you could take the tour. I actually had managers from all over my area in Texas. We had a managers retreat in January. It's where I get all of my group together, and we got to take a tour. And a lot of them knew our roots and everything. However, once you go up and you look at the Judge Stewart room, it's got documents from the Republic of Texas, Sam Houston's signatures. It's actually got the first owner's title policy ever issued in the state of Texas.
Not by Stewart.
By Stewart.
By Stewart?
By Stewart.
In the state of Texas.
In the state of Texas.
That I'd like to see.
And the buyer didn't know what it was and canceled it.
Oh my goodness.
But it's in there. And like we perform in our fiduciary capacity to handle real estate transactions. Everything comes to our desk. Really the essence of our origination was for liens, for mortgages. They wanted to make sure they had good property, good title, and a valid lien on that. And we've kind of slowly gone over to where we, of course, we issue owner's policies. Right. But the first owner's policy is there. If you're ever there, I highly recommend you go up there. It's a great tour.
It's funny you mentioned it. In my previous life, I actually taught a CE class in that office.
Oh, in the vault with the big safe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's our training room.
Yeah. I was when I went in, I'm like, do I get to leave? So it was.
That's a big door.
It's a huge door, but it's been a very long time since I've been in there. So
we just brought in a new gentleman, came over and joined us. His name's Max Van Natter. He's now the new division president of Stewart, and I'm working directly with him. And I had him in Galveston when we took him up, did the tour, put the white gloves on, pulled out all the old books. He saw stuff. I mean, it's really cool when you're with another title guy and they see what that is, and it's the essence of our origination. I mean, old geographic index cards, old abstracts. And as he's walking through it, he was like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's like this is Mecca for us, Anyway.
That's where it all started.
All started.
So over the years, you've seen everything. Seen people come and go, seen the market go up and down. What's your opinion right now of the market the way it is right now?
So it's kind of hard to answer that question just in general. No, the numbers aren't as good as 18 and 19, and that's kind of where we look. If we could have another 18 and 19. I've been doing this since 1982. I've never seen what we've done since 2020 all the way up until about midway, third quarter of last year. We've never operated at that level for that long, and under extremely difficult work conditions with the COVID protocols and everything when it first started until where we're at today. If you go to Houston, like I just sold my house. I was in my house for 30 years, just built a new one, just closed, as a matter of fact, last Wednesday. I sold my house 3 times in 6 days. The average market in my little pocket in the Katy area is 16 days, and I beat that. You can go up to 290, and there's areas that we maybe not as robust. I can go to Eagle Pass, Texas, and we're still at real high levels. Laredo, still at high levels. Victoria, unbelievable right now. Corpus has slowed down a little bit. Harlingen is really doing well. Brownsville slowed down a little bit. That has to do a lot with SpaceX and where people are wanting to live there. So we aren't, I would say, at good levels if you look at us consolidated. But if you look at pocket areas, we're still doing very well.
But you did make the announcement at the last BDO meeting, despite everything you just said. Who's number one in market share? He's trying to figure out what it was he said.
I say a lot of things.
That may or may not.
One thing I always add, I don't lie because I don't like trying to remember what I said.
Exactly.
So when you talk the truth, it's easy. So for the first time since the COVID with all the refinances, Stewart Title Houston division has now taken over number one overall. The good news is Stewart Title Houston division has been in number one place in residential resale, in commercial, and either first or very close second in new homes construction. We don't have a lender services like some of the other major underwriters do. Not trying to slight any of our lenders. We have relationships with lenders and we do their business. We didn't go after some of the big accounts like some of the other ones, like Fatco did. So anyway, yes, we got back overall. I will still take my balance sheet with our double-digit, only title company double-digit, thanks to people like Kevin throughout the Houston area that represent our sales force with our residential resale. That's our bread and butter. That's who we took to the dance. That's who I want to take home after the dance, and that's that resale.
Yeah, it's when you mentioned that at the last meeting, I was because things are different. I mean, I've only been here for well, not only, but I've been here for a year and a half, and the difference between last year, third quarter, before that, and now is drastically different.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's drastically different, and the number of title companies that have popped up everywhere, it's amazing. They're all over the place.
I'd love to talk about some of these new title companies and everything, but we'll keep it civil.
We'll keep it clean.
We'll keep it clean. Although I've picked up some really good closers that were at some of these smaller title companies that aren't making it because of the times.
Yeah.
We have a model. We live that model. We're strong. We're solid. That's why I've survived so well. We've run off all the underwriters in South and West Texas. I took that area over in 1998, did some acquisitions, and we have no major underwriter in any of the cities that I currently work with. They're either sold, we bought some of them, they closed, or sold to their current local management. So we're real proud of that. And we're real strong in a lot of those smaller markets because we are a major underwriter. We offer a lot. And when times get tough like this is when we typically grow. We're growing right now in Houston with some of that's gone on as well. But we had a great meeting a few weeks ago. We called all of our presidents in from around the United States. And it was Ryan Swed's first meeting as direct operations, probably one of the best meetings I've attended in 2 decades. We can look at numbers till the cows come home. However, when you look at certain numbers, and you look at seasonal, the way our market works, and you look at all the down, and I've been through a lot of down times.
Well, of course you have. You've been around for a long time.
But when you have a CEO that says at the first quarter earnings, getting ready for the first quarter, and tells Wall Street, we might not make money in the first quarter, but we're backing our people, and we're not going to have layoffs, and we haven't.
Nope.
We were trying to control our spending, do certain things that we can get through this, because as Ryan put it a few weeks ago, the market's going to come back. It always does. Right now with interest rates where they're at, when I started in 1982, interest rates were 18%.
Yeah. When I bought my
we got
house,
spoiled below 3, right?
Yeah. When I bought my house in 2004, I was at 12.
Yeah.
So
So it's going to come back. And the good news is we've seen some incredible appreciation that we're not used to in the Texas market. We're not California and Florida where it got crazy and then it busted. We won't see that. We shouldn't see that because our jobs are still really, really good. But due to the sales prices going up, we don't even have to get the same numbers in 18 and 19, and we're going to be very, very, very solid. You know,
Awesome.
but we're profitable now.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the name of the game. So, I could sit here and actually talk to you all day, but you don't have that kind of time, and this podcast is not that long. So we'll have you back. If somebody was to ask you, seeing that you're from the up top looking down, why should I use Stewart Title versus our competition? What would you tell them?
First off, our people. I'm so blessed to work for 468 people around the great state of Texas. We have, in my opinion, the best. Stewart is, if you go to any of the ratings, Stewart is one of the top-rated underwriters. Their paper's really, really good. We have great tools on the closing side. We're very, very strong. But I go back to the family that I work for. We have really, really good people.
Yeah, I've been in this business for 9 years. I just turned 54. I've had a couple of other jobs or places I've worked. This is and maybe it took me 54 years to get here, but this is the only company that I've ever worked for that I was comfortable every day when I come in. I don't really feel any stress. I'm not worried about what Larry or Jennifer or anybody else is doing or thinking, or it's just like you said, it's like a family. It's
Yep.
You just come to work, you do your job, and you go home. And while you're at work, you help people that need help, and you do the best you can do.
Oh, we have the best job in the world. I mean, it's the American dream. And I'm glad to hear you say that because that's my job. My job is to stay out of everybody's way, but support them and make sure that they have everything that they can. And that's why you look at our tenure and experience and the longevity. It's really, really incredible at Stewart Title.
Yeah.
And that goes down to Brownsville. It goes all the way out to Beaumont, all the way to El Paso.
Amarillo?
I don't handle Amarillo, but yes, Bart and them, they've been around for a long time as well.
Awesome.
I know them all because of the old days.
So if anybody wanted to get a hold of Larry Warren for anything about Stewart Title or Title in general, how would they get a hold of you?
Larry.Warren@Stewart.com. Phone number 713-625-8600.
Awesome. Larry Warren, guys. He's the man. We'll be right back with the second guest of today's podcast. Right back. Hey, everybody. This is Kevin Davidson, your host for Kevin's Corner Real Estate from a Marketing Perspective, and we're back. This is episode number 11. If you haven't noticed, the backdrop got a lot better. This is Anh Vu. She is a mortgage lender, and a friend of mine. We do some events and things together, and so I invite her on the podcast. So say hi, everybody.
Hi, it's very nice to be here.
Tell a bit, what your name is and what company you work with and what you do.
Yeah, so I'm Anh Vu with Nexa Mortgage. We a group of financial suit here in Houston, and I'm a mortgage advisor.
I never heard that term before. What's a financial suit?
Financial suit, yeah. So it's a group of mortgage advisor, our loan partners. So yeah, we here local in Houston, and we do all sorts of loans from conventional to non-QM, you name it, everything. So we find the tailor suit, solution for your mortgage needs.
So are you traditional lender in the sense that I need a loan for a house I want to buy? I would go to you.
Yes, pretty much, with the added personalized touch. So
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a reason why she's here. So, what are some of the things or some of the programs that you offer to agents to help them get their clients approved?
You mean like the loan programs that we
yes.
have? So that is one of the reasons why that we stay on the broker side, because we don't just stay here to deny or approve the loans, but we pretty much try to help our clients. We work for our clients, and we figure out where they are right now and where they want to be. So I don't like using the term that to approve them, but it's more like, get the mortgage ready. It may
Right.
be 1 month, it may be 2 months, it may be a year, but the end goal is to help them with a home ownership, right, or investment. So
So if someone comes to you and says, I've been turned down by other lenders, but no one has helped me to figure out how I can get approved, that's where you come in.
yeah, we save files, and pretty much, we very much like the Stewart Title of mortgage. We the last mortgage person that you're gonna need, because
Awesome.
we get things done, and so we do all conventionals like government loans, so conventional FHA, VA, and non-QM like bank statements, as well as DSCR, fix and flip, pretty much anything, and sometimes private lenders. So we have all of those resources.
So
all
for
in one
anybody
roof.
watching this that's like me and doesn't know what some of the things are you just said, what is a non-QM?
Non-QMs are some of the non-traditional, unconventional loans. Like, let's say, some of the business owners, they don't have enough proof on paper of the income to qualify, right? So they would have to go for a bank statements, using a bank statements, because most of a business owner, they deduct a lot of taxes, right? So their tax returns don't really reflect their true income. So there are other ways for us to qualify the clients, like using the assets, for example, using your bank statements, or just profit and loss. So all of these are more untraditional ways to qualify them, and we have them all.
Would people that fall into that category be people that are self-employed?
Yes, self-employed business owners. A lot of time they could be just 1099, for example. So yeah.
Okay. So how do you, and we'll get to what's in your head here in a minute, but how do you market your business in the Fort Bend County area and the surrounding area, to be honest with that?
So I am a very community person, and that was one of the reasons why I switched over to mortgage, to basically combine with my passions and my mission. So most of my businesses are through referrals, and we just meet people, support others, like support businesses, and I'm also a veterans ex-spouse, so I'm also advocate for VA loans and veterans benefits in general. And I think it's fortunate for me so far, in a way that, like, just because I'm always so vocal about like what I'm passionate about, so people kind of know that, okay, this is what I'm after, and they just kind of come to me for advice, and way before I'm even in the financial industry, like they already ask me about finances advice. So because financial literacy is one thing that's really big to me.
So is that something else you help your clients with, is understanding of financials and things like that?
Yeah, pretty much anything encompassing like finances, because like even credit score, right? Credit report. The end goal of that is to help them save, right? The better your score, the better your rates would be, the less fees that you pay, but also not just in the mortgage sense, but whenever they go and get like car insurance premiums, better scores, they get better
Get your little rates, yeah.
as well. So if I can help them, hey, here's the things that you can do to better your credit scores, I would say it. Even like leverage other accounts, like health saving account. So is one thing that over the years I accumulate, and now I just want to share it forward, because that's one thing that's not taught in school.
And the one really cool, one of the other really cool things about this lady is that she also has a very similar mindset to me when it comes to marketing for real estate agents, right?
Yeah,
So
I would say surprisingly.
Yeah, we think a
Very
lot
similar.
alike about what we think agents should be doing to grow their business and how we help them. So why don't you kind of tell them a little bit about that? Everybody knows that I teach CE classes and I help agents grow their business and teach them marketing techniques. There is one other person out there that is like-minded like that, and that is you. So I think you approached me last year, 2 months before we did that event.
Yeah.
And I'd only met you one time because you'd showed up at the Christmas party.
Yeah.
Yeah, she showed up at the Christmas party
So
last
glad we met. Yeah.
last year, and basically just asked. You said you had this idea about an event, and we talked about it and everything. And so, tell everybody for agents that are listening to this, because this is not about me, this is about you. How they can get help from you to grow their business.
Yeah, so I think it's this is kind of like the vision that I had even before I got into mortgage. It's just to grow the community, and so leveraging each other, because each of us, we kind of are solopreneurs in a way, and there's a lot of hats that we have to wear. And if we try to do all of that, we have our strengths and weaknesses, but if we have to do all of that, it gets overwhelming. And so to be in a team, success at the end of the day, when you just achieve that by yourself, they have a saying that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So in a way, when the success is shared, it just multiply. You know what I mean? And my end goal at the end of the day is that to give back to the community, because my son and I can do all these charity, but it's not sustainable for a long term, and it's just one person versus if I can do it with another person, if I can combine that with the work that I do day in and day out, then it's just easier and it can be amplified a lot more. So that's when I get into the mortgage. And with agents, I think that when we leverage each other's strengths and weaknesses, it's much easier and our ideas get better. Like sometimes we didn't think about certain things, and just have somebody else as like a soundboard is great. And I also, my whole life, like I don't have things handed to me, and everything that like I do, it's more like I want to give values first, right? And that's why I think you and I click so well, because we want to help the agents grow. It's not, in a sense, I started mortgage and most of the people told me, okay, pick up the phone, like make cold calls, and make appointments. And I'm like, but what is the value that you bring to people? You can't just ask somebody to marry you on a first date, right? So it's more of like, what
Just
can
on
I
the
do?
second.
On the second date. So it's just like, what can I do to help them grow? Because when you grow, I grow. Right. So, I'm fortunate enough to have the previous 15 years of career in the industry, like advertising, marketing, consumer research, and branding, that gives me the knowledge to at least help with, now that I get into a mortgage, but I don't think about it as much as marketing, but it's more like, if you can give them people value, how can you connect people together? If you can connect the dots, then that's when your business thrive, because the best marketing is when people don't feel like they're being marketed to.
Right.
It's like a trade in values.
I had an agent that called me the week before, and they needed to reschedule her meeting with me, and I was like, that's okay, no problem. So we rescheduled it. And then when she texted me goodbye, she said that I was the best mentor she'd ever had. And when people, number one, it makes you feel good. And number two, when someone gives you that label, then that makes you believe that you're actually helping someone with what they're needing help with. And that's one of the things that I learned a long time ago, and one of the things that I talked to Jennifer about when she was talking to me about coming over to work for Stewart Title was, I don't want to just cold call and ask people for contracts. I want to give them something of value, and the good closing process is value, but that's expected. That's why we're here. That's why our doors are open. I want to give them something that nobody else, none of my competitors are giving them. And so when I mentioned the CE classes and things like that, that's when Jennifer's eyes lit up and she was like, oh my God, yeah, whatever, you do it all, whatever you want to do. And so that's how I guess for the lack of a better phrase, created my following. Yeah. That's how people know who I am now. And so we put together an idea to where we had, it was a 2 or 3 hour event. that we did. It was
Marketing and
last
branding.
year, right?
This year.
It was this year.
This year.
Well, that's
Yeah,
right. It was this year because I was right in the middle of my medical issues. So we put together this event to where we kind of invited agents to come and people to come and talk about marketing from two different heads, two different perspectives, but in the end, helping them understand the importance of not trying to do it themselves and giving them the tools to help them succeed. And so we're actually building on that. Ann and I just talked a couple weeks ago about doing number 2 of this, which I think is going to be late August.
Yeah, August 24th.
24th. Tell them a little about what you got planned.
Yeah, so every single thing that we do at the end of the day, it's for agents to grow business. And not just agents, but entrepreneurs in general, right? Whoever that we partner with, because we in the industry, real estate industries, but we also leverage, other industries, not just inspection and insurance, some certain times there's other industries that the agents don't really think about, but it's about you leveraging your circles of influence. How can you connect the dots, and kind of like the raw materials that you already have, how you can extract the value out of that. So anything that we do, the bottom line is that your quote was to make the phone ring. Right. So our goal is to connect you with other resources to help enhance your client's experience, to how can you qualify more buyers, right, if they're not qualified in the traditional sense. And also, how can you be more efficient with your time, because as an agent, there's only so many people that you can follow up, so many people that you can talk to on a daily basis. So how can you be efficient with your time so you can follow up in a timely manner, but also in the right time? So if you know how to filter out at the beginning, pace it out, if I talk to this person, they're not ready right now, but at what timeline they're going to be ready, and to gauge their level of, if they would be able to qualify or not, right? Then it would help the agents be more efficient with their time. So the upcoming event is more about, if you look into their credits, how can you gauge what kind of loan programs, what kind of down payment assistance that they may qualify for? How can you get more buyers into the funnel and leverage other resources to help you following up without you having to do all of that yourself, nurture your lead. That's when it's ready, they feel like you've been helping them all this time, right? The client's been helping them to be mortgage ready all this time, and they will come back to you. And so you only do 1/3 of the work.
Right. And we're also going to be bringing in other industry experts from our industry, like inspection, mortgage, title, home warranty probably, and whoever else that would be part of the buying and selling process.
Yeah, credit repair.
So that's going to be August 24th, probably in the evening-ish, so look for that. And then once that comes and goes, I think that the idea was to do something like this once a quarter eventually. So big things happening, big things coming. At the same time, there's a lot of ways that Ann and I can help you guys, either with your marketing or your time management or your mortgage or whatever. So tell everybody something that's really cool about you or your business that's coming up in the future, besides the event we just talked about.
So I am also excited about my next podcast that I'll be on, which is supposedly this upcoming week. I would be a guest speaker on my partner, who is the CDFA, and for those who don't know, that stands for Certified Divorce Financial Analyst. And we also will partner with another family attorney to cover the topics about assets division, real estate, tax implications within the divorce, like residential
powerful.
and investment at the same time. And my role in it is obviously coming from a mortgage, but it's not just about mortgage. I'm a certified divorce lending professional, and the things that we do involve much earlier on in the process. So we help with basically how can you divide assets, how can you structure your assets division and the terms in your mediation agreements so that it gives you the most benefits, and the least amount of like financial damage to your future and maximize
For
your
both
mortgage
parties.
capacity. Yeah, pretty
both
much we
parties.
could be in a neutral position.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, if anybody wanted to get a hold of you, whether it's for mortgage, divorce asset discussions, financial advice, marketing advice, or just to say hi, how would they get a hold of you?
So I am on social media. Just search up Anh Vu Mortgage Advisor. On Instagram, it's anvu.financial. And my phone number is 832-380-5828. Or you can email me at avu@nexa.mortgage.com.
Awesome. And the name of the mortgage company is?
Nexa Mortgage.
Awesome. Give them the phone number one more time.
832-380-5828.
Awesome. I want to thank Anh for being on the podcast today, episode number 11. Larry Warren, the first guest. Thank you guys very much. My name is Kevin Davidson. I am the host, Kevin's Korner. Real estate from a marketing perspective. Like I said in the beginning of the podcast, if you are a real estate agent or a vendor and you'd be interested in being on the podcast, give me a call, send me an email, 832-654-0527, or email me at kevin.davidson@stewart.com. I always like to end the show by mentioning again Jennifer Schmidest, Caitlin Cornick, Devaney Devon, Rosalie Dean, and Wendy Santana. Couldn't do it without them. Next episode is next week. So you guys have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.
Thanks, Kevin.
That's
Nice to be
it.
here. Thank you, Kevin.